because they don't belong to any party, because they belong to businesses that are run and owned by their leadership. So that if you are in the house, you are there by virtue of being a trader in that company or an investor in that company. So you cannot oppose the chairman of your party, of your company. You can't oppose the DG of your company. If you oppose the director general of your company, you lose your shares or you'll be thrown out of the window. That is exactly what we have now. So it's difficult when you saw all those, when they got into the house. You said some people came, small businessman from labor business, some came from an amalgamated private company. So the moment they enter the chambers, they all become one because they're all traders, they're all business people, they're all company shareholders. You cannot differentiate one company from the other. And that is the bane of the Nigerian legislature as we speak. And that is why they've been so ineffective. They've been so unproductive. Yeah, as a matter of fact, if I had my way, they should just be swept off the place. They don't exist. There have been serious security challenges in the country. They've not made any laws to address these challenges, either to say that the citizenry should have a right to self-defense. In other words, make laws that will allow citizens to carry light arms, light weapons, so that they would not be they won't just be sitting duck for the terrorists who come to their houses, their farms, their shops to maim, to massacre, and to do all sorts of rubbish with them. See what just happened in Akure yesterday. Because we don't have any legislature that is expected to make laws. Even at national level, even at state level, it's all the same. When I'm talking about the legislature being lapdog, we are talking of legislature across the board. We're not just talking about legislature in Abuja. We're talking of legislature in Abeokuta, in Ibadan, in Oyo, in Akure, in Ondo, in Uyo, and so on and so forth. They're all the same. They're all traders. They're all traders, and that is what I think we have at the moment. And we may begin to look at solutions, but I'm sure several other people are going to talk. The first important thing that we should do is to have a new constitution, because what we have at the moment, what has made the legislature very powerless, is because we have dictatorship constitution. Dictatorship constitution. We have a constitution that allows the head of the executive to be the most powerful individual on earth. Obasanjo saw that, Buhari saw that, and Yar'Adua saw that, Goodluck Jonathan saw that, and now the clever guy, Tinubu, has also seen that. So that the Nigerian chief executive is almost as powerful as God. I don't want to blaspheme, because other than short of turning a man into a woman or woman into a man, he has power over everything. He appoints the police, he appoints the chief of police, appoints the chief of the army, appoints the chief of everything. He even appoints the man who guides your toilet. So he's so powerful that, and you're placed within the constitution that gives him these humongous powers. Because he is so powerful, legislators have become Lilliputians, because we have dictatorship constitution drafted by the military. It's a military constitution. It's a military decree, a military constitution run by decrees, except that they are wearing agbada and babariga and so on and so forth. They are not different from those wearing khaki. And because they wear agbada instead of khaki, they've succeeded in creating what we call the kakistocracy, government of very incompetent people. They are all kakistocrats, people very incompetent. You look at the quality of those in the house, because those in the house came by not at the will of the people. They were not elected by people. They were there, they were chosen by the owners of the parties, of the companies that prevented them for election. So ab initio, they are representatives of their companies, not of parties. So the company directors chose them, and then ask people to vote for them. And of course, we know that with no voting, we have ballot sorting, ballot stealing. We have talks dictating where to go and where to come from and all that. So in other words, because of the constitution we have, which is a dictatorship constitution, everything that comes from there is just forced imposition and therefore not in any way able or capable to look the owners of their companies in the face.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very lengthy and loaded one. Now, in an ongoing debate, according to WG=SOᴟsAᴘᴘ study, the legislators in Nigeria has abandoned their oversight function and compromised, often using that to blackmail or extort money from government agencies rather than holding them accountable. In the face of your submission, sir, how do we place this accusation?
Which accusations? That they are extorting the agencies?
Instead of oversight functions and holding agencies accountable, they blackmail or extort money from the agencies.
Well, I don't think that should surprise Nigerians. It shouldn't surprise you. It shouldn't surprise me. I mean, I said they are traders. They are traders. They're not interested in making laws or being upright or being respecting the laws of probity. These are people who are there to do business. So they extort not only the agencies, even they extort the executive, even the owners of the company that they work with, they also extort them. So it's all about brigandage. So it's not, there's nothing to debate or to query about whether they do so, or how do we, to confirm whether they do so or not do so, or why do they do so. They do so because, again, nobody can check them. The executive that they work with also cannot check them. The executive itself cannot be checked by anybody. So we have a police that cannot be policed. So the whole thing is just mumbo jumbo. It's all, like I said, upside down. They will continue to extort the agencies, and they will, as long as they can fatten their pockets and fatten their bellies that are stretching beyond the belt, they will continue to look for ways of making money or getting money from anywhere by blackmailing or by hook or crook.
Thank you very much, Chief Tola Adeniyi. You spoke comprehensively already. You have given the prognosis of what the issues are. But I have been trying to find out whether this is a symptom of this present administration. There have been a Shagari regime. Was our legislature like that? There was Goodluck Jonathan, there was Obasanjo. Or is it, I'm trying to find out whether the fixation or whether you are in particular, focusing on this dispensation. And I'm asking this for a reason. And I will be asking you, sir.
Yes.
Could you have imagined that Nigeria would come to an all-time low like this, where it's looking like we're almost at the edge of a precipice? That's my question, sir.
Well, you mentioned Shagari. Shagari had a political party. The MPN was a party. It was recognizable that they had leadership. At that time, you had the UPN, you had the PRP, you have PRP, you have UPN, you have GNPP, you have APP. All these are parties that had responsible and respectable leadership. I mean, you knew the chairman of MPN, you knew the chairman of UPN, you knew the chairman of GNPP and the chairman of APP. So you knew the chairman of PRP. At that time, there was discipline. But from after 1999, and then you have the 13-year military interregnum that then culminated in Obasanjo coming to power. From that time on, I'm sure you know that at the time Absalami was yielding power to people in Agbada, I mean civil, not civilian government. It was all hurry. They all knew that they had the wrong constitution, but they didn't have the patience to sort out the issue of the constitution. They didn't have the patience to sort out the issue of national question, and they just went headlong into election that produced Obasanjo. So from that time on, then you had AD, you had all these parties that, like you described them before Abacha left, that are just five fingers, leprous, what do you call it? So they're just the same. And from that time on, we didn't have any difference. So progressively, the thing went downhill until now it came to a climax. And like you rightly observed, we've come to the end of the road. It's not just being close to the precipice. I think we've come to the end of the road because we truly and really, there's no government.
If we have come to the end of the road,
yes.
You know, it is our elders who used to say, let me say it in Yoruba, Ti Igiba Wolugi, Haberesi Shalatoke. Now, what is the way, what are we supposed to do? I'm imagining you are the president of Nigeria, and truly we have come to the end of the road. What are we supposed to do? And two, is it a question of disconnect or outright self-deceit? I listened to Akpabio, that's the Senate president, and his counterpart in the House of Rep. Many a time they have given vote of confidence, past vote of confidence on the administration of Nigeria. The president, they have said, better days are coming. And meanwhile, what they are saying is not the reality on the ground. People are hungry. I'm not sure anybody has seen this level of hardship and suffering. But when you see their proceedings at the upper and lower legislative chambers, it's like they are not part of what is happening in Nigeria. What is accountable for this?
I don't think we need to overflog this matter. What else could be responsible? What else could be responsible? Look at the quality of the people. Look at the quality of the leadership of the National Assembly. The leadership. Look at the quality. Look at the quality. Look at the quality. That is what is responsible. You cannot. I mean, you have. I do expect a man to belong to the people. A man who was accused of 40 billion Niger data development, something, 86 billion in the same NDC, 108.1 billion alleged theft of Akwa Ibom funds. I mean, when you had such a person and these accusations had not been vacated, the charges had not been vacated. Now you have now say that man is the head of the most important arm of government, because the most important arm of government is actually the legislature. They make laws. They put a brake on the executive. They make laws which the judiciary uses. So it's a very important, and then you have such a character as the head of the legislature. What do you expect from that particular chamber? What do you expect? Why do you think there will be difference between a personality and between a cook and the stew that is brewing? That is the situation. If you're asking, I'm sure the president is not deceived. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a very clever man, a very brilliant man. I don't think he's deceived. He knows that all these flatterers, all these fawners are just dancing around him and making him feel like he's God and trying to please him. He may enjoy, human beings enjoy flattery once in a while, but I don't think he's deceived. I'm saying, therefore, that if we progress in this discussion as to how it can do something to ameliorate the situation on ground, then we're going to mention them. But if you are looking for solution from the legislation, legislature were not because there's no one you can build that to make any difference. So I think we should just leave that as it is and concentrate on how the executive, particularly the head of the executive, can do something, if it's still possible, to ameliorate the situation, but not through the legislature and not through the judiciary.
Thank you so much, sir. On Friday, it was reported widely that a pickup van officially attached to the office of the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, was stolen while he went to pray. And by yesterday, virtually all the members of the Nigerian Police Force and other security agencies have been looking for the pickup. Before we came on air by 8 p.m. today, it's yet to be found. So much for the National Security Advisor. How does this get to you, sir?
Wait, it didn't get to me as a shock. I mean, I laughed when I heard about it. I was happy, very, very happy that Tᴏɪᴛᴛᴇʀ is very happy. And it shows again, I mean, the National Security Advisor does not need anybody to pass vote of confidence or no confidence on him. The man who stole his pickup has already passed the vote of confidence or no vote of confidence. He has seen his picture. They've given it to him free of charge. This is your photograph. This is you, Mr. Madam Ribad. So I don't think it requires any further commentary. And it's a shame, it's a great shame, because the security situation in the country has not been addressed. It's not a rocket science. All those who are terrorizing this country, there are less than 10,000 people. They know where they are. They know their addresses. They know their parents. They know where they live. They know them. They know their sponsors. Those who finance them have been published in Dubai. They know them. Why is it difficult for a government to do something? And why is it difficult for Nigerian citizens to do something? Why? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. I don't think he sees himself as a security advisor anymore. I mean, we always see him sitting by the feet of the president. I think it's more like a personal assistant to the president and the national security advisor.
Okay, are you in any way inferring that the war on insurgency, terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping has failed?
But you know that. I mean, you know that. I mean, what is the question of asking? Everybody knows that you cannot travel from Ibadan to Akure after 8 p.m. without having your breath in your mouth. You can't travel you can't even go from Ibadan to Djibouti after 8 p.m. You won't dare. So, I mean, does anybody require any soothsayer or any seer to tell them that the security apparatus had failed woefully in the country? Why is it difficult? Why is it difficult? We know those who are terrorizing the country. Why is it difficult to deal with them? That is the question we'll be asking. Why is it there's no political will? Why is it difficult? What is the problem? Who is profiting by it?
I know that Dr. Ariyo is angling to ask you for that question, but let me ask you this. You are a veteran by all standards. Maybe the time that you were the chairman, managing director of Daily Times, or maybe when you were in Sketch, maybe that was the year I was born. They talk about this law. There's a communication law spiral of silence theory. I'm going to ask you this because it is only now in Nigeria that you now see that the people are divided. Before those days, even in the military times, it is they versus us. A lot of people who are suffering very badly, many of them cannot afford to put their cars on the road. I know a lot of professors who can no longer, they are trekking, they are entering Kabu. I know a lot of directors in the civil service who can no longer live normal life. But then you now see that among these people, they have become like healers. This was not the way it used to be. Now the spiral or silence theory says that there are people who are in the minority, but they are vocal. And they are the ones who will be drumming. So as we speak, as things are so bad in Nigeria, there are still people who are saying this is the best. That we once had somebody, a professor, who said, even angels cannot do better than what Tinubu has done. I don't know how you want to respond to that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you have to ask yourself, where did the person say so, in what environment, who are his listeners, and so on, and whether the message was meant to reach the man he wanted to flatter. I'd already advised myself that because I had access to those who can talk to Tinubu, I've restrained myself from making public commentary about his administration or criticizing him publicly. There's nothing I want to say to him that I cannot pass across to him. So if I can reach somebody, I don't need to play to the gallery by saying what I could also say to the person privately. Whether the person will make use of it or not is a different matter. But what I'm saying in essence is that, yes, people are saying so, and Nigeria is not in shortage of flatterers and such characters can say whatever they like, but they know as of a fact that things are just not what they should be. They also know that Nigerians have never, that's their business. But I don't think it is true. And I don't think if such a message was passed to Tinubu, I don't think he himself will agree that Nigeria is having the best of times. I don't think so. Because it's not deaf, and it's not blind, and it's not dumb.
Thank you, sir. Along with your thoughts, sir, I have always said that in Nigeria, we don't have political parties. That what we have are social clubs and NGOs gathered together to catch votes and capture power. Unfortunately, they don't know what to do with the power each time they get into office. Lai Mohammed, as Minister of Information, announced to the world that Boko Haram had been annihilated.
Technically.
Years after, there has been a resurgence of Boko Haram. Tomorrow, by the grace of God, I'll be on a TV platform to discuss this. Sir, can I get some origin from you? Why does it seem like we cannot defeat Boko Haram, the bandits, kidnappers, and all the other challenges that we are facing? Thank you, sir.
Well, in fairness to those who are charged with defeating Boko Haram, the Boko Haram phenomenon has gone beyond the confines of our shores. I'm sure you know it has been internationalized. There have been video clips of French, American, German mercenaries caught in those theaters. So in other words, we've seen video clips of arms and ammunition being dropped by air from foreign countries into Sambisa. So I'm saying that they've allowed Boko Haram insurgency to develop, to germinate, and to go beyond, like Yoruba would say, Kekere Latin Pekairoko, you know. So they didn't Pekairoko when it was growing. So they years back, I said that was when as soon as they killed Muhammad Yusuf, I told the government then, I can't remember whether it was
Jonathan.
Also, yes, it was Jonathan. That all the government needed was to tender. It was a psychological thing at that time. They killed their leader in cold blood. All they needed at that time was to apologize to Yusuf's people. That was all they needed. Go to them, apologize for the assassination of Yusuf in the police cell. You know, if they had done so, I mean, it was psychological. All they needed was that the government was sorry that their agency or their agent, the police, killed this man in cold blood. But they didn't allow that, they didn't make use of that opportunity. And those who now wanted to use the insurgency for political gains lashed on it and then, developed it into the monster that eventually became. And now it is out of hand. But having said so, it's still not beyond the capability of any serious government to rein in the insurgency. It's terrorism blown large, but I believe that a serious government can still tackle it. How many of them? Where is a forest? We're talking about Sambisa forest. Where is a forest in any savannah area? Where is a forest in any Sahel? Where is the forest? They keep on talking of forest, as if they are talking of a forest in the Jabu land or a forest in Wari. How can you say you have forest in Sambisa? Which forest that cannot be seen from the air? Which forest? That's not for the Katsina forest. Which Katsina forest? Do you have any forest in the desert? And they should continue. They should stop using all these euphemism, banditry, hada, whatever. It's pure terrorism. Terrorism, the worst and the most wicked type. Terrorism. They are terrorizing the entire country. It's terrorism. There's no other word for it. Not banditry, not hada, not whatever. You have people carrying AK-47 all over the place, in daylight, in broad daylight, in Akure, in Undoyi, everywhere. And you say you are talking about bandits, they are talking about kidnappers. These are terrorists, armed to the teeth. And government knows where they came from. Government knows who their sponsors are. Government knows who is financing them.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I was in Chatham House when former President Buhari promised to build a refinery each year of his administration. It's on record that he spent 8 whopping years and he did not build any refinery, not even a modular refinery. When he was leaving, he told Nigerians that you will miss me. As things are, we are missing Buhari. Is it that this system that allows us to let our worst 11 to lead our best 11, sir? This being so, what can be the way forward for the electorate, the masses who are out there hoping against hope?
What the masses should do, and I'm quoting our hero, our leader, Okubola Ige, organize, organize, organize. I don't believe it is bribery. I don't believe it is coercion. I don't believe it's African medicine. I don't believe it's whatever that has made all of us to become so idiotic. I mean, if it is bribery, how many people have been bribed? How many people have been bribed in Abuja? How many people have been bribed in Djibouti? How many people have been bribed in Lagos? If it is a spell, how many people would they put a spell on? What is wrong with Nigerians at this point in time? How many people have received bribes? How many judges have received bribes? How much bribe? So it's not bribery. That's something that we have to examine. That's something we have to challenge. Nigerians, in their poverty, in their depression, oppression, and whatever they are facing, should organize from village level, from town level, from adubo level. They should organize. They cannot tell me that they cannot overpower less than 10,000 people who have turned all of us into slaves. I don't believe so. They say people have been bribed. How many people have been bribed? The media have been bought. How many people in the media? How many journalists have received envelopes? How many? We have 114 newspapers, the economic crunch and all that. But how many have they given money to? How many people on online publishing have received bribes? Which bribes? People have to organize.
Okay, well, you can actually say that again. Well, let me thank the people on the floor for a lot of comments that are pouring in. Somebody even says joining from all the way from just Plato. You can see some people from Canada. Because Chief Tola Adeniyi started to fire from the blast of the whistle, we are going to start the floor interactions by around 10 minutes past 9, so that we allow him to cool down a little bit, so that, I'm going to ask him a question now. And when it is around 10 minutes after 9, we open the floor for interactions very early. Please keep your thoughts coming. Let me reel out the number to call to the studio for those listening from Masaba, from Lagos, from Abeokuta, and other parts of Ogun and Lagos states. The number to call, 090-6099-2609. And I think our engineers can put it on the screen. I'll call it again, 090-609-92609. I'll take it one more time, 090-6099-2609. Now, let me ask Chief Tola Adeniyi, is Nigeria a democracy? Two people have been carrying out a gospel. One of them is former President Olusegun Obasanjo. He says it everywhere that this democracy is not working, that it appears we must look for another form of government that is indigenous to us.
He calls it African democracy. African
democracy. Then when you now hear the guy in Burkina Faso, recently, the head of state there, who said, don't deceive yourself, that during democracies, there's not been any real development in Africa. He even queries and say there is no democracy in any part of Africa. I don't know how you want to place this, both of them, and to also find out whether actually what we are doing is democracy.
Thank you very much. Quickly, I've said it several times. Democracy does not exist anywhere in the world. Democracy is just a word like religion used to bamboozle people, to deceive people. Our Creator doesn't call anybody to a meeting before he takes action. Doesn't come when he's going to give you life, doesn't call you. When he's going to take you away from the service of the earth, doesn't discuss, debate with you. There's no democracy anywhere in the world. An American senator, I think his name is Biden, said going to ballot box every 4 years is not democracy. No poor man can be president in America. No poor man can be even a mayor in America. There's no democracy. What we've always had is plutocracy, government of the rich. And in any case, when Plato spoke about government of the people, for the people, and whatever, women were not considered as part of the people in those days. He was talking about the gentry, landowners. Children were not part of the people that Plato spoke about. Poor people were not part of the people he spoke about. He was talking about landowners, not the, I mean, how long ago were women allowed to vote even in the US? How long ago were women allowed to write novels and publish books in the UK? They were not considered members of they are not considered among the people that we are talking about. Democracy is government of the people for the people. So that is, by the way, democracy does not exist anywhere in the world. It is government of the rich using poor people, using thugs, using all sorts of characters to advance their own selfish purposes. If there was democracy, hundreds of thousands in America demonstrated against Vietnamese war. The government didn't listen. They demonstrated against going to Iraq. The government didn't listen. No democracy. How free are the American press? The American press is the most shackled in the world. I say it with all sense of responsibility. Not 10% as free as the press we have in Nigeria. So what I'm saying is that there's no democracy anywhere in the world. Coming back home, the solution is that we go back to our roots. The Yoruba Oba was a most powerful person, but there were checks and balances. Obas had been executed. Obas had been made to poison themselves. Obas had been sent away from the throne. That is the way. That's the culture we grew up in. That's the culture we knew. So the Oba, as powerful as was not totalitarian, was not a tyrant. He could not be, because let me tell you, the judiciary in Yoruba land, there's the Ogboni, which is Supreme Court, or the Oro, which is the secret police, were not controlled by the Oba. The Oba doesn't know who is the head of the Ogboni. He doesn't know who is the head of the Oro. It's not his business. But in the so-called Western democracy, the head of the judiciary is appointed by the chief executive, the head of the police by the chief executive. But in Yoruba form of government, the Oba, our own form of government, the monarchy, the Oba does not even decide who will be the head of the market people. It's not in charge of the Pampa. It's not in charge of the Oro. It's not in charge of the Ogboni. And they ask you, well, let me tell you, in Ogboni call, they will say, ohun mélòó mélòó ni wọ́n lè dì láì ṣáwó. Ohun mélòó mélòó ni wọ́n lè dì láì ṣáwó. How many objects can enter the grove without being an initiate? The answer does not include an Oba. Ohun mélòó mélòó ló wọ́n lè dì láì ṣáwó. Only few that can enter the grove without being initiates, and the Oba was not included. In other words, the Ogboni was supreme. Ogboni was among the Ogboni would be one of the kingmakers, but the Oba has no control about the Ogboni, about the judiciary, about the Supreme Court in Yoruba land. So let the Yoruba man be Yoruba. Let the Hausa, they have feudalism. Let them have a constitution, a government based on their culture, on their tradition. Let the Igbo forever Republican, but they still have a system that they respect. Let them have their own constitution based on their culture and tradition. Then if you then meet at the center, let those traditional imperatives of each nationality decide which we can use as a block or which we can jettison. In other words, we must have homegrown means of controlling ourselves. But I will submit before I round up that the solution for now is that every nationality in Nigeria, the majority of them should go their separate ways and begin to form their own government according to their own culture and tradition. If after 100 years, 200 years, they can still come together and stay in a place they call Nigeria, so be it. Otherwise, let people go their separate ways, because that's the last and the ultimate solution to the mess that we have been dragged into since 1914.
Along that path, I will take us back to history. Before the intervention, the evil intervention of the British people, the Obas were in charge of civil administration, and they called them Ijoba. When the white man came, he didn't like the Obas because he felt challenged. While some Obas were forced to sign off through senseless treaty, the authority of their community, others were sent away. WG=ᴛsAᴘᴘ of Benin, an example of Oba that was sent away. By the time independence came, some Nigerians took over. We call them power inheritors. They didn't know what to do with power. The military intervened. Along the line, they weakened Obaship at all levels. Today, we have a pretentious civilian rule, not a democracy. Sir, can you locate a better office for Obas and traditional rulers in the face of all of these shenanigans? However, in recent times, some of these Obas too, they have failed to give account of themselves as being worthy occupants of their seats. Albeit, sir, where do we go from here?
Thank you very much. Two questions you asked in one.
Ben, sir.
Let me tell you that there are Obas, there are Obas. I've had if you Google, if you go to YouTube and Toladini and Yoruba Obas, you'll find a lot of materials there. Those that you call Obas are not Obas. Obas is not just Ikiru and no, that's not Oba. Most of those you see as Obas are not Obas. They're just wearing something on their head they call crown. They're not Obas. So again, we've lost our values, we've lost our virtues. And because of that, over the years, every component of human society, of Nigerian society, has been so degraded. And so the police, the lawyer, the journalist, the doctor, everybody, and it has affected the monarchy as well. But yes, there have been powerful Obas, and they ran governments. And the military came, the civilian, Onyibo introduced their own form of government. But politically, they didn't. Up till now, the Prime Minister of Britain will bow before their king. Not in Nigeria, where some funny governor will be stretching his hand to shake another. I mean, and the Oba that responds by allowing a governor or a chairman of local government to shake his hand, again, that is not also an Oba. It's a Oba. If I were an Oba and a governor stretches his hand, I'll just push his hand away, and I'll ask him if he's a Yoruba man, I'll ask him to Nekoni. So, after this program, there is a publication, my thoughts on Yoruba government, my thoughts on the constitution for the United Yoruba Kingdoms. United Yoruba Kingdoms is the government I envisage that by the grace of God, by the grace of Oduduwa, will happen. Maybe not in my lifetime, maybe not in the lifetime of my children, but certainly a time will come when the Yoruba government, molded after the Yoruba political system, monarchical system, government system, will emerge, and the Yoruba country will emerge and compete globally.
Well,
I don't know whether I've answered your question.
You have, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It's time for us to go on a very short break.
No.
We still want to move on?
Yeah, before the break,
okay,
let me say that let me say I'm grateful to Arabatola Adeniyi. He really made our day by speaking to the issues. I know that what is paramount at the back of your heart is that you want Nigeria to be good and better in your days. And I'm praying that before exit, you will still see the glorious era of Nigeria. Yes,
Okay.
Can I fire another question?
May 29 is around the corner. I'll be celebrating my 30th.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Congratulations in advance.
We take this to be an invitation, sir. Sir, in your days as a journalist and writer, you broke no nonsense. You called a spade a spade. What have we seen today? If you as much as criticize the government of the day, they will come for you. No matter your age, no matter your achievements in life, no matter your status in the society or your profile. And these are young men who years back were thorns in the flesh of the military. Sir, is it about their daily bread or about the nation Nigeria? Thank you, sir.
I don't know. I said, lamentably, we've lost our values. We've lost our values. We've lost our values. We lost our values. And don't blame whoever has become a turncoat. People change with age. People change with circumstances. People change as a result of some experiences in life. If we don't know where the shoe pinches anybody, we cannot be judgmental. People will have various reasons for choosing to behave the way they behave now, as opposed to the way they behaved in the past.
Okay, thank you very much. In a short while, we will go on break, but permit me to say that there is a survey on Boiling Point Arena. We've been looking for ways to serve you better. It will not take you more than 3 minutes. It will be placed in the chat box as we move on. Just find out time to just help us to fill it. We will go on break in a moment just to pay our bill. And when we come back, we will take some calls via the phone lines. Then later we would ask people to, wave a hand, and by Zoom, we'll go to Zoom, then we'll just shuffle it like that.
Someone sent questions to my phone from Canada.
Yes, I know, but just let's go on a short break, just a 1 minute break. Thank you very much.
Yesterday's new heartbeat is Slush 94.9. Close your eyes and come to see the yeah. Don't you worry, I'll be love. This is what I want. You gotta be you do try hard. You gotta be just what you want. You do what I want. You're not working hard. I think it's wow. And I think it's clear. Oh, I'm like,
Exciting news from Galilee University College, Nigeria, your gateway to global opportunities. In partnership with the Global Counterterrorism Institute, we're proud to collaborate with the prestigious Paris Graduate School to bring you exclusive master's, diploma, and certificate programs. Earn a degree that paves the way to master's and PhD programs in Paris, a city known for its academic excellence and vibrant culture. Here's why this opportunity is unmatched. World-class education. Learn from top educators and industry leaders in international security and advanced security studies in intelligence cybersecurity, with hands-on projects in the GCTI state-of-the-art cyber lab. Global networking. Build lasting connections with professionals from around the world. Pathway to success. Seamlessly transition into advanced degrees. Cultural experience. Learn alongside a diverse global student base. Take the next step in your education and career. Visit Galilee University College for more information and to start your journey today.
Yeah, let me take example of our Tᴏɪᴛᴛᴇʀ.
Soyinka is not the only. Soyinka is not the only Yoruba man.
Yes, there are many others, but what I am trying to pinpoint here is that why is it that most of them are not coming out this time to say anything? That is my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have another call? Okay, maybe
Baba will answer.
Baba will answer that question.
What's the question?
That Yorubas are not coming out to talk against the present government.
I don't know where that person got his idea from. And in any case, a wise dog does not bark at every object. I heard somebody talking about Wole Soyinka. Wole Soyinka is over 90 years of age. I mean, the man has paid his dues. I mean, at the time the man was alleged to have held a gun at the radio station in Ibadan. He was just about 30 years of age. At the time he risked his life and went to Enugu to meet Ojukwu, I mean, he was in his 30s. What do you expect? I mean, let those who are in their 30s also do something. Why are they waiting for a 90-year-old man to do something? Let those in their 30s, in their 20s do something. My Abba Said was age 27. I started my Yoruba poetry at 16 on Radio Nigeria. Why are they waiting for somebody who has already got his boarding pass to the other side to talk? Why those of you who have not even bought your ticket are keeping quiet? Anybody wants to talk, if Yoruba are not talking, let somebody else talk. Let the BBO people talk. Let the IFIC man talk. Let the Izon man talk. Let the thief man talk. Let the Anang man talk. If the Yoruba is not talking, let them not talk. Let other people talk.
Thank you very much. In any case, the last time I checked, Chief Tola Adeni is a Yoruba man. All right, let's keep the call coming. But as we wait, let's see the hands up on Zoom. We have a call now.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Welcome, Boiling Point Arena.
This is WG.
You have the floor.
So I thank your visitor.
Our guest.
Our guest, not visitor.
Okay, your guest. You really speak well. I thank him for everything. But my question is that all this insecurity that people are talking about, I reason is that any politician, whoever that come out that they want to contest, they always put down this insecurity. That is the first thing they will do for the citizens, but they are going to do for Nigerians. But why is it difficult for this insecurity? Instead, the thing is increasing every time. I don't know what happened because our former spokesman or whatever in Nigeria said, if they said they kill someone anywhere or they kidnap somebody anywhere, if before 24 hours they did not release that person, that we should know that our politicians are aware of it. So security now, and all, everybody that is coming out is telling us that the first thing that is going to do for Nigeria is insecurity. It's hard for them to tackle it in this country for us to have our peace. Thank you. That is my question.
Thank you very much. I think largely it's a commendation and concern that she has raised has been noted. Let's quickly go over to Zoom and can we unmute Owolabi Folaromi from Plateau State? We'll come back to the phone line very soon. Owolabi Folaromi, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, good evening, my fellow brother.
Good evening. You're
And
welcome.
our guest, Akoguntola Adeniyi. Good evening to you. Good evening to you, sir. In fact, I really enjoy all what you have said. I am Owolabi Folaromi, calling from Jos. Yes, my question based on what is Nigeria. If we are to ask ourselves, the political parties, I always tell people that we have only one political party in Nigeria, and the truth of the matter is that our Akogun have said it. People crossing from APC to PDP, and all of them, they are the same. They are just looking for what to eat, or their selfish interest. But now, even our foundation from the beginning, Nigerian foundation from the beginning, it has problem. And if we are to tell ourselves the truth, our problem started as far back as 1914, if I'm to tell you the truth. Because our amalgamation, who are the people that signed the papers? Because all the political leaders that we are talking about of today, none of these political leaders are there. Then what are their aims of signing us together in that 1914 that we are to be together? Who and who that signed those papers? Then because if we are to say something today now, in the north, let's say the people in the north here now, the Igbos, the Southerners cannot sleep with their two eyes. And in the west or in the south, the same thing. Are we together? Then who are the people that cause us this problem? And if are the white, what are the solutions towards it? That is my question, sir. Akogun. Thank you.
We just keep deceiving ourselves and postponing the evil. We are postponing the evil.
Okay.
Nigeria will break up. No country run this way anywhere in the world survives. That is the honest truth. I mean,
thank you very much.
If people signed any document,
sorry, Mr. Owolabi. Hello. I think you made your point. Thank you very much. Thank you. Can we have Yinka Quadri? Please unmute Yinka Quadri. And unmute yourself too, Yinka.
Okay, can you hear me, my brother?
Very, very well, loud and clear.
Okay, you of all the versions of Boiling Point, today for me is a special one because the guest that you have been able to drag in with your net, has made it, for me, a major distinction from all those, of course, equally very important people that have been coming on board. But I just want to use this opportunity to thank the Akogun, who is a father to me, for sparing the time to be on this program. He has been a guiding light to a lot of us, and he has also demonstrated that here now. So my point basically is that this program has been put up to achieve some certain purposes. And by God's grace, it's going to achieve it, and it's already achieving it. Even if the recommendations that you are able to get from this program are not implemented by the government, by the incumbent government, definitely sometime, someday, some very committed ones will come and execute them. So I just want to thank Dr. Arowojolu for putting this program together. And I want to especially thank my father. I'm sorry, I'm personal at this point in time. Is because I know the worth and value of the guests that we have on board. He has done so much for Nigeria, even that to the best, to my own knowledge and my own involvement. We have done so many things together for the sake of Nigeria and for the sake of Yoruba land. I have been thinking, can Yoruba leaders be like this man? Can we have Yoruba leaders be like this man? Because sometimes I discussed with him and I asked him, I said, look, our fathers, you are our fathers. Do you think you people are responsible enough? And he smiled. He said, look, my son, go ahead, speak, abuse us, insult us. It is what we deserve. I'm not sure there are so many fathers like that in Yoruba land who can tolerate such effrontery. But you see, that day, I dropped it. When I hung the phone, I shed some tears. I'm not used to doing that. So, but to the solution, because this has been a platform that has been brought about to give solutions. And Akogun has given us some. He said, organize, organize, organize. And he also said that the unity of Yoruba land is desirable. But I can tell you now that like Chief Ayawood, like Dr. Ayawood said, in your lifetime, sir, you are going to see a better Nigeria. You are going to see a better Yoruba land because there's a whirlwind that is about to start blowing now. And this is like, I'm putting everybody on notice. The game is up. The joke is over. A whirlwind is going to blow through Africa, and that whirlwind is going to start from Yoruba land. We will no longer tolerate the nonsense that's going on across the country. We will no longer tolerate the complete fiasco that we have, that we call government and we call leaders across the country, in Yoruba land, in Nigeria, everywhere. Akogun asked a short while ago, he was asking, he said, are we cursed? Is the black man cursed? We need to tell the world that the black man is equally as endowed as every human being on earth. And the only way we can show that is by organizing ourselves, by taking care of our own homes. Look, everywhere is now desolate in Nigeria. Yoruba land is completely desolate. Our children have abandoned the place. They have gone to seek shelter elsewhere. That must stop. So there's a whirlwind that is starting from Yoruba land.
Thank you, Yinka. Can you just wrap up your thoughts?
Yes, I'm wrapping up by putting everybody on notice that there's a project that is on. Of course, I'm not going to talk about it, but the project is to put the mind of Akogun at rest, that whatever is dreaming of is about to start, and Nigeria will be shaken. And God will take control eventually. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's go over to Kayode Odunwaru. Can you unmute Kayode Odunwaru? Unmute yourself, Kayode.
Hello.
Okay. You have the floor.
Good evening, everybody.
We are here.
Okay. Let me join in the commendation of our elder in the profession. And having said that, I will want to belong to the optimists of Nigeria. So my question or contribution for Akogu is that, yes, this is what we have. This is the legislation we have as it is. I don't believe we can throw away the baby and the bathwater as it is, other than calling for a revolution, a military takeover. What we have is what we have at the state level, at the federal government level. Now the parliament, I've been part of the parliament as an insider for a while. They have their minuses and they have their challenges. For me, I've seen so many of their challenges. Most of the people, like the Akogu rightly said, most of the people sent to the national parliament, they are not supposed to be there. Now, in the first place, they are not intellectually or somehow sound enough to be there. Again, there are no institutions.
That's your thought, Mr. Odunaru.
Can you please?
Yes. And there are,
don't have all the time.
There are no institutions to guide them. For instance, there is something in the US, they call it Congressional Budget Office. That office, they do a lot to assist the senator or the House of Rep member you see interrogating the executive in the USA. In Nigeria, we don't have that. The parliamentarians only have like 5 aides who are, they are not there. They are not even, most of them are just maybe 1 or 2 lawyers. So when we assess our parliament at all level, at the state level, there's no story there. They are just rubber stamp. I agree to that. But at the national level, once in a while, you see, look at the emergency in Rivers State. When they brought it into the parliament, they made a contribution. So I won't see that as a rubber stamp of what the executive did. They made some contribution, giving a leeway for maybe resolving the situation of a state of emergency in Rivers State, for instance. So yes, I believe there are challenges. But we have to go forward from here. We cannot disband everything other than we are calling for a revolution.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Let me remind you that the last edition of this program, Senator Babafemi Ojudu said he wasted his 4 years in the National Assembly as a senator. If that's not the testimonial that anybody will see and take a position, I don't know what else. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have just one more hand. WG=, I think is connecting from America. Can we have you on? Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. Are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. I want to thank you, Adeniyi, for the expose on Boko Haram. I have heard many wrong things about that group. I remember I handled the file on that project, on that problem when it started, when Yusuf was killed. Apart from an apology that Chief Adeni said about, they went to court, and the court granted 100 million naira damages to that family. It was Yar'Adua that was in government. Yar'Adua refused to pay. You know, there is a challenge between the Fulani in the northwest and the people in the northeast.
Kanuri.
The Kanuris in the northeast. The problems are still there till tomorrow. I handled many complaints in that area, but I don't want to go there. There's that silent war between the Kanuris, because the Kanuris felt that they are the progenitors of Islam. Islam had been in Maiduguri in the 12th, 13th centuries, before the Fulanis came to Sokoto in the 19th century and took over the governance in Nigeria. So that challenge has been there. The Matasane group arose from the northeast. It was just a protest against the domination of politics by the Fulanis. That's the bottom. Even Shettima, who is the vice president today, was not there because it was approved by the Northwest. It was not. So whatever has happened is because some people somewhere refused to do what was right at the appropriate time. And Boko Haram had become, just like Chief said, I think they didn't peck on the thing when it was small. and the thing has boomerang now. If government has paid the 100 million at that time, can you imagine how much has been spent to tackle Boko Haram today? If they had paid out 100 million. So secondly, I want to also contribute a little to this monarchy that Chief Adeni is talking about. I think there's a problem in the monarchical setup. Even in Britain, I've been called to disband monarchy in Britain. I don't think anybody is born a leader, apart from some claims we have in some parts of Nigeria that we are born leaders. No, nobody is born a leader. You must make sure that you train yourself to do, because we have a lot of Obas in Yoruba land now who are addicts. They are not doing anything. They talk rubbish, they talk nonsense. So I don't belong to this class of people who want a restoration of monarchical administration in our country.
Right.
I would rather suggest that we return to the parliamentary system. In the parliamentary system, I was a young man. We enjoyed Nigeria. I'm in my 75th year now. We enjoyed Nigeria at that time. So I think it is, if we return to the parliamentary system, it will be far, far better than what we are experiencing today.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Our time is fast spent.
Read out some messages
yes.
now. We'll still go back to
definitely. This is from Baroyi Femi Shoduke in Canada. Sir, at a time, question for you, sir. At a time, you were part of the champions for Yoruba Nation alongside Professor Akintoye, Sunday Igboho, and co. Why the lull now in this agitation? Is it that the festering issues that caused the agitation have been addressed? Or is it because the current president is a Yoruba man? Can Nigeria make progress at all with the present federal structure without adequate restructuring? And what type of restructuring are you looking at? Sir, why is it difficult to implement local government autonomy in Nigeria? Can you give us your ideas behind this? From your perspectives, do you think we have opposition political parties in Nigeria? Baroyi Femi Shoduke in Canada.
Let me join it with this from Mr. Emurua. I disagree with the claim of no democracy, though it's known to have some limitations. But taking from the point of the Genesis in Greek, where people were gathering at the city square to decide matters, and fast forward to representative government. An archetype adaptation representative government have worked for a number of countries, especially the developed countries. There have been instances where people have elected representatives who care and develop their countries. But Chief Adeni might be saying what he has just said because our present-day politicians are not exhibiting characters. I don't think Chief Adeni would have said this in the years of the Action Group in the West or of UPN in the Lobo states in the 80s. Well, thank you very much for that. Let's just take 2 or 3 more calls, then we come back to Baba. Keep the calls coming. The number to call again, 090-6099-2609. Yes, we have a call now.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Who do we have?
My name is Collins.
Collins, you have the floor. Okay.
Can you just give me a second? Let me stop the radio.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
You are on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've done that. Yes, I am so happy for this evening. He has spoken well. He has spoken my mind. God bless him. But there's something I want to about the general Nigeria problem. See, the whole Nigeria, whose I'm as sound as an ethnic champion or I'm not.
Private number, IK. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, please go on.
Hello.
Hello.
So,
hello. Yeah, hold on. Getting the phone, mommy.
This thing in the 60s. okay, let us go the part of federalism the way it ought to. Let each, regional area develop their area. But they were misunderstood. War broke out. They were killed in their millions. Up till now, nobody didn't see fit to say what these people suffered is no good. Let us just seek simple apology. I mean, Nigeria government or Nigerians as a whole, would they acknowledge? That's it. And again, if assuming we have South as a country and not different country, we would have developed faster than we're doing now.
Okay.
I think the problem we have now is our brothers over there in the north. I'm sorry to say this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have another call. Okay. Is that call? Okay. Well, let's
can we give Baba the chance to
come to
hammer the questions?
Baba, if he remembers all of them.
Okay, there's a call.
Okay, let's just take the call.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, very quickly, who do
Your
we
name
have?
is?
My name is Pastor Sᴏᴜ.
Okay, please go ahead.
I am calling from Owu Kingdom of Nigeria.
Okay, Ojewa, please go ahead.
Yes, I greet Pastor Yᴏᴜᴛᴜ and my brother there, Dr. Rio.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I listened to the Baba Tola great analysis and thoughts. Now, let me quickly say this. I think the way to go is to restructure Nigeria to true federalism, even crafting a brand new constitution, people's constitution. We need to return to the journalism that gave us independence in 1950. Let me tell you, my brothers in the studio, we are not united. We are divided. Look at this needless killing, bloodletting, banditry, kidnapping, hunger, poverty, in the midst of abundant human and natural resources. So why are we pretending? Let us accept the reality. For God's sake, it is no war, it is no fight. We will still respect each other. Democracy is not good for Nigeria. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Let me say this before I hand over to Baba. Kayode Odunaru, when he was making his assertion, nobody will call for military intervention. We have gone past that. Nigeria belongs to all of us, and many of us don't have any other place to go.
We don't have a second passport.
We don't have a visa to anywhere. And we don't
except to heaven when we are old.
Exactly. So we need to interrogate whatever is not making Nigeria
and answer the national question.
Thank you very much. Over to you,
Baba
Araba.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Barry Shoduke asked about 12 questions. I don't know which one you wanted. I don't know what. I know, of course, I know Femi very well. I don't know which ones he wanted me to answer, but I remember talking about the Yoruba World Congress, which
yes, sir,
was co-founded by Dr. Akingba, Professor Akitoye, my humble self.
Amos Akingba.
Yes, the brain box of Nadeko. And yes, we were fortunate at that time to have got some prominence. The thing is that the agitation has not died down. It's not because Yoruba man is head of the government or is the president of the country. I mean, the Yoruba agitation for sovereignty has nothing to do with anybody, nothing to do with President Tinubu at all. The thing is that we discovered that we needed to change our approach. And I kept saying this, you cannot talk about Yoruba sovereignty or getting Yoruba out of the country or getting other people to leave our land and then we own our country Yoruba land without getting the maximum support from the stakeholders. You can't have a Yoruba country without getting the Obas involved, without getting the intelligentsia involved, without getting the market women involved. You can't get, it's not possible. And I said this, and I said with sense of responsibility. If you do a plebiscite today, if you visit, say, Ogun State House of Chiefs, or go to Oyo State House of Chiefs, and ask the Obas, just ask the Obas, do you want a Yoruba country? You'll be lucky if you have 10% in favor. If you go to University of Ibadan guest staff club, or University of Ibadan staff club, or you go to Akungba staff club, or any university in Southwest, that staff club, ask the intelligentsia, do you want Yoruba nation state? You'll be lucky if you get 40% in affirmative. And the reason is that they've not been involved, not because they don't want it, not because they're not aware, not because they don't know that Yoruba is suffering because we are in a contraption called Nigeria, but because they've not been involved, they've not been persuaded, they've not been carried along. And that was why years back, Dr. Farumbi, myself, Dr. Olajide, we started, and Dr. Ajayi, we said, let us visit all the stakeholders, all what we call the gatekeepers. I went to architect Obishori, the man is 92 now, or 94, went to Mrs. Professor Ogunseye, she's 96. I mean, go to all these people and get their support, get them involved. You can't be climbing a tree from the top. That is number one. Number two, I don't believe that the struggle for emancipation for any community can be seriously handled by anybody above 70. As a matter of fact, revolutionaries are usually in their 30s and 40s. I can't run around now. I'm 80 officially. I believe that the people who can do something, who can achieve what we are agitating for, should be in their 40s. When those of us who, whatever little name we have, we made these names when we are under 40. Let those who are in their 30s and 40s, if we have a Yoruba movement, I would want a 45-year-old man to be in charge. Lead. I could still be giving advice from behind. I can still be a member, but I want a 45-year-old man to be the leader because they have the energy, they have the reach, they have the contacts. We still give them advice, we still do all that. But those to run the machinery should be the people who are young. People who are young, who are energetic. That's my take. Now, talking about restructuring, Femi, I supported regionalism. I supported so on and so forth confederation. I wrote a book on confederation. But I found from experience, that those who are opposed to Nigeria self-determination will never agree to restructuring. They've been talking about state police. Under Shagari, they said, yeah, under Buhari, the state police, the federal agreed, all the MS have agreed, all the census have agreed. Has it been created? It's a year ago now that Professor Tinubu announced that, yes, we are going to have the state police. Has it been achieved? I doubt if the state police will ever be created. I know it. So question of restructuring from where? And if you say you restructure country, as long as you are still in the same country, nobody can stop a Port Harcourt man from going to Sokoto and raping the people there. They will say it's a free country, there is free movement. Nobody can stop a Yoruba man from going to Maiduguri to commit crime, or somebody from Maiduguri coming to Ibadan to rape our girls. They will say it's free movement. But as crazy as these terrorists are, they've not been able to go to Benin Republic there, just next door, to do the nonsense they're doing in Nigeria here. So when you say restructure and you still keep all these people in the same country, you still keep egg and ukuta in the same box, or and so on and so forth, you are just wasting your time. Restructuring will not work. That is my opinion, that's my conviction. 100 million people can be opposed to it, may hold contrary view. They are welcome to it. This is my view, this is my conviction. Those who are opposed to self-determination will not do anything about restructuring. They will not do anything about true federalism. They will not do anything about terrorism, because some people are profiting by all these terrible things happening to Nigeria. I believe that if the Yoruba had their own country, if the Hausa man had their own country, if the Igbo man had their own country, they would be in better places than we have at the moment.
Thank you very much, Akobi. Well, we have about 9 minutes more, and Kabisi will soon be coming on. Yeah. But let me ask you this very, very briefly. Do you know how much national legislators are being paid? Because everybody has been searching and they have refused blatantly to let us know actually how much is the is their take home. I don't know whether you know.
Is the question for me?
I like that, because
I don't know.
Remember,
it was Obasanjo who allowed all this. It was Obasanjo who allowed this largesse for them in his time because of his third-term agenda, and allowed them to start fixing their own salary and all sorts of things. And they are the highest paid in the world. And in any event, the nonsense they call the constituency allowance and all that, all the legislators have been turned into contractors. How can you be giving 3 billion, 4 billion to every House of Representative member or to a senator because as constituency allowance? Constituency for what? Are they contractors? Are they contractors? We've turned every legislator into a contractor.
There have been suggestions that one of the legislative houses should go, that we cannot maintain a bicameral legislature. If you align with that, which one should go?
All of them.
They should be part-time. They should be part-time. They should be part-time. Yeah. If you are a professor, then give your time, then meet about 6 times a year or 10 times a year and get sitting allowance, period. Have your own job, have your profession. If you are a lawyer, practice your law. Don't go and start snoring in the chambers and getting allowance and being a contractor and all that, and say you are doing roads and you are doing all sorts of things.
I want to say a very big thank you to our Baba. I call him Worthy Elder, and I said it that your writings were responsible for my ability to speak and write very good English, so much that by primary 4, I was already collecting presents and prizes. On behalf of all the radio stations involved with this, Wash FM, Sweet FM, WFM, Reese FM, Cruise FM, I want to say a very big thank you to you for your time, for your frankness. We were not disappointed. It's always been you. It's either the Akogun or not. I also want to say a big thank you to my godfather, Dr. Kunle Olajide, who has always been a very good host to me in Fᴏʟʟᴏᴏ. Though time has not allowed me to go again. We will be at your 80th birthday. We wish you long life, sound health, best of the moments. Thank you, sir.
We go over to Kabisi Olowo of Owo Kingdom, Oba Professor Saka.
Thank you very much to you, Dr. Ojulu and Dr. Areyo, for the excellent coordination of today's session. It's been one of the best in terms of efficiency, as well as clarity and submission. Thank you very much for your submission today. As you began speaking, and right through the entire session, what was going through my mind was some lines from Professor Niyosundari's poem, which says that Nigeria is a comedy to him who thinks and a misery to him who feels. And that really is the story of Nigeria as we have it today, unfortunately. I mean, the submission today has been laced with a lot of wisdom and clarity of thoughts. No missing words around. I mean, how else? I mean, in Nigeria today, we've been brainwashed. And in fact, in most part of the world, we've been brainwashed by the West, and we're under the illusion that what we practice is democracy. When in actual fact, what they practice is plutocracy, which when we borrowed it, we have now transformed it into kakistocracy. A lot of people do not well realize that when you are being governed by some of the worst people in the society, character-wise, when you don't have system to check what they're doing, and you just do it with reckless abandon, with impunity, it's simply kakistocracy, which we are under illusion that it's a democracy. I mean, how else do you have amalgamated people's company and people's dividends being pocketed by some? And those are the people who run our government, according to the submission by our government. Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate today's session, and your participation today. It also tells us the way we've had such an efficient system today and session today, that we don't need to stay very long to achieve good quality session. And I must thank technical crew. We've had minimal technical glitches today. The quality has been great, which is what we've been working on for quite a while to ensure that we get to. So I want to appreciate all who have made this session today. Thank you very much for that. And to our participants, what can we do without you? I mean, we could prepare the best session, bring in the best discussants, and if you are not there to participate, and with the energy, with the passion, so I want to thank you very much. But please, as you heard Dr. Arojolu speak all about earlier on, we would like you to please take our survey. It's designed to help us serve you better. Tell us what you like about the way we're organizing it, the content, the quality, the timing, and all. And it won't take more than 3 to 4 minutes to complete the survey. So that will help us a lot to ensure that we continue to serve you as best as we can. Again, thank you very much to every one of you, and have a nice week ahead. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kabiyesi. Well, I will not let the cat out of the bag. But Kabiyesi is passionate about what we need to do, the changes coming. And by the way, in October, it will be 3 full years of Boiling Point Arena. Well, let's keep the thing close to our chest. Please help us to fill our survey by just doing a cut and paste. Cut it off from the chat box, and maybe you paste it on WhatsApp, a WhatsApp page, and you can fill it within 3 minutes. Thank you so much. Special appreciation to our partnering radio stations. Dr. Ari already has, thank you, but we cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. To our technical
Exciting
crew.
news from
Thank
Galilee
you.
University College, Nigeria.
Our
host station,
to the host station, Wash 94.9
and our producer.
FM. And please help me do that.
Yeah, Gaius, the big man.
Arojolu is my name. Thank you, Dr. Rio. Bye. Bye to everyone.
Bye.
Your city's new heartbeat is Wash 94.9.
Show me the way I can go.